Hey, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, whichever applies to you, depending on where you are watching this from and what time you're watching. I'm so excited to share this space with you right now. And I want to talk to you for just about 7 minutes or less. I want to talk to you about the power of darkness. This stemmed from a discussion that I had with some friends. And we begin to discuss darkness, and even I begin to think about the effects that darkness metaphorically has on our lives when we experience dark situations, when we have dark interactions with our family, our friends, and that darkness is experienced or perceived with a negative vibe or from a negative perception, but or perspective, with a negative perspective. But I want to cue you in on the power of darkness, and that darkness is actually not bad at all, but darkness is actually good. Yeah, darkness is good. And without darkness, there is no light. Without darkness, if you did not experience darkness, you would have no perspective of what light is, because you would always be in light. Okay? But because there is a contrast called darkness, it causes you to know that there is something else, okay? And that something else is light. And typically, however, when we look at light, we normally express our description of light with a positive perspective, but we associate darkness with a negative perspective. But I want to tell you, darkness is good. I began to, I think the discussion we were having was about this revival called the Azusa Street Revival back in the year 1906. And in this year 1906, during this Azusa Street Revival, there was a lot of miracles, signs, and wonders that took place with this leader named Williamseymour. I think I'm getting his name right. I think his first name is William, but Williamseymour. And he's known, especially in the Black Pentecostal church, he's known as like the igniter or the initiator or the person that introduced the move of the Spirit to America. So with the African American community and the white community, the Caucasian community as well, because this revival that took place knew no color, even back in 1906. Pretty amazing that a black man was able to lead black and white people in 1906, because spirit knows no color. But anyway, in this revival, it was pointed out how Williamseymour would often do something very strange. He would sit in the meeting, sometimes not talking, with a box over his head. Why would he sit with a box over his head? Now, I was not there in 1906, so I can't really give you an accurate answer, but I can give you what I feel, okay? And my perspective. It is because he learned a secret. I believe Williamseymour learned the secret of darkness. He learned the power of darkness, that good things happen in the dark. So this is why I believe even in the scriptures it tells you the master teacher Jesus, whether allegorical or historical, he says when you pray, watch this, he says enter into your secret closet and shut the door. Go into darkness, because good things happen in darkness. So Williamseymour would put this box over his head, and he understood that God dwells in the darkness. Actually, that's where, if you think about it, where else can light be? Light can only exist in darkness. You need darkness for light to exist. I hope that makes sense to you. Otherwise, light cannot be expressed. Light cannot show up without darkness. Anyway, let's keep going here. So Williamseymour understood that God dwells in the darkness. We often see another, what I believe to be allegorical character by the name of Moses. And Moses would always go up into the mountain to see God. But he would go up because the thick cloud would rest on the mountain, and Moses would go up into the thick cloud to meet with God. He would go up into the darkness. Look at the allegory. God dwells in the darkness. He would go up into the dark to meet God. Listen, guys, all I'm trying to tell you is that awesome things happen in darkness. You know, that's why when you pray, most of you, whatever religion that you associate with, if any, when you pray, most of you close your eyes. Why? Because good things happen. The magic happens in darkness. In the narrative, in Genesis chapter 1, in that narrative, in the allegory, darkness came first. And everything came out of that darkness. It says, in the beginning, darkness was upon the face of the earth, and the Spirit of the Lord moved on the waters. The Spirit moves in darkness. Even in my last 10 seconds, even your dark interactions with each other is only to cause you to learn something about them and something about yourself.